Urgent, Niners fan! Look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest Niners news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. 49ers rumors. Insider floats idea of Brock Purdy trade. Aaron Rodgers signing while the San Francisco 49ers delve into the extending quarterback Brock Purdy. There could be a hang-up on the contract details. Some insiders, including Diana Rossini, believe Purdy will make between $55 and $60 million annually. However, Peter Schrager thinks Purdy's agent will keep contract expectations realistic. But there's allegedly a third option for the 49ers trade. Brock Purdy and sign Aaron Rodgers, per Grant Cohn. But if he threatens to hold out unless the 49ers pay him nearly $60 million per season, should they pay him? Cohn questioned. Or should they trade him and sign Aaron Rodgers instead? There's a debate on whether Purdy is a good quarterback or if he's just surrounded by a strong supporting cast. However, both could be true. Purdy could be a good quarterback, and a talented, supporting cast surrounded him. Does that make him worth $60 million per season? That's where it gets dicey. However, not wanting to pay Purdy league-topping money doesn't just mean Rodgers is the next best choice. When paying average to above-average quarterbacks top-of-the-line money, it gets tougher to justify it across the board. Other positions need parts of the salary cap allocated for them, so when a quarterback gets overpaid significantly, it impacts the entire roster. Because if the 49ers were to sign Purdy to a contract worth $60 million per year, that's a lot of trust in a player who hasn't completely proven they're worth that. With that, what would a trade look like for Purdy? Well, Cohn had a potential trade that might just make sense. Would 49ers trade Brock Purdy to Giants for number 3 NFL draft pick? In a different article by Cohn, he pitched the idea of a possible trade between the 49ers and New York Giants, having Purdy join Brian Daboll in East Rutherford. The proposition had the 49ers sending Purdy and pick number 11 to the Giants for pick number 3. In theory, it gives the Giants the quarterback they need and allows the 49ers to commit to rebuilding. Even though the Giants signed Jameis Winston in free agency, that's not to say they're tied to him as the starter in 2025. However, one part of this issue is that the Giants can draft a Purdy-like quarterback with the number 3 pick in Shedeur Sanders if they feel he's worthy of a top 5 pick. There appears to be a wide range of possibilities for Sanders in the 2025 NFL Draft, but if the Giants feel he could be their franchise quarterback, it seems like a trade that would only really benefit the 49ers. Why pay Purdy $60 million per year if the Giants think they can get a player as good as him with the number 3 pick and pay him a rookie salary? Another problem is that the 49ers really weren't as bad as their 6-11 record in 2024 indicated. They might not be seen as the top team in the NFC like they were a few years back, but that doesn't mean it's time to blow up the ship. However, if the 49ers think it's time to move on from Purdy, there are apparently options out there for them, including reuniting Aaron Rodgers to his home state of California. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Niners news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Why the 49ers should sign Calais Campbell. The 49ers tried to trade for Campbell last year at the trade deadline. The 49ers need to get younger, but they also need to get better. They're a 6-win team that just lost 9 quality starters and replaced none of them. Signing at least one starter would be smart if the 49ers hope to contend for a playoff spot next season. That's why they should sign free agent defensive tackle Calais Campbell. Sure, Campbell will be 39 next season, which means he's older than Trent Williams, but Campbell also should be relatively cheap considering how good he still is. Despite Campbell's age, he played all 17 games each of the past 2 seasons and was Pro Football Focus 6th highest graded defensive tackle in 2025, 1 spot higher than DeForest Buckner. Campbell is the best defensive tackle remaining on the free agent market. If the 49ers don't sign him or someone else to play this position, they'll have to start 2 rookie defensive tackles next season, or they'll have to start Jordan Elliott. And no good team starts Jordan Elliott. No offense. According to Campbell's brother, the 49ers tried to trade for Campbell last year at the trade deadline. They even offered the Miami Dolphins a 4th-round pick for him, and Miami ultimately decided to keep him and make a playoff push, which fell short. Now the 49ers simply consign him as a free agent. If the 49ers are serious about contending this season, they'll sign Campbell or someone of his caliber. If they're punting 2025 to contend in 2026, they'll stand pat. Let's see what they do. 3 players the 49ers still have a chance to sign in. Free agency who could make a 2025 impact. The 49ers have clearly committed to not handing out big contracts in free agency this year, but there are several impact players they could sign without doing so. The 49ers' quiet free agency period is no accident. San Francisco's likely approach on the open market was laid out before the new league year began, and the franchise has stuck to a commitment to avoiding paying out large contracts this offseason. Yet the 49ers are set to head into the draft still with 18 spots on the roster to fill. Even with 11 picks in the draft, it seems unlikely they will fill all of those holes with rookies. San Francisco, despite some financial limitations that are a consequence of the contract extension the 49ers are set to hand Brock Purdy this offseason, has some room for maneuver in free agency. But it seems set in stone at this point that the 49ers are largely focused on younger players who will not break the bank both in terms of cap hit and cash outlay. At this point in the calendar, most free agents still on the market are players who will probably have to sign team-friendly one-year deals, and the 49ers could still find some difference makers who can help improve the team in 2025 and perhaps beyond without putting them in a financially difficult position. Here are 3 such players who have yet to find new homes. DL Jesse Luketa isn't a well-known quantity, but he had a significant impact on the 49ers' 2024 season going sideways. The former 7th-round pick was the man who forced a crucial red zone fumble from Jordan Mason in the 49ers' Week 5 loss to the Arizona Cardinals, a play emblematic of his main strength, run defense. Improving stopping the run is top priority for the 49ers on defense in 2025. Last season, Luketa had the 5th highest PFF run defense grade among edge defenders with a minimum of 50 snaps against the rush. His run stop rate of 10, 4% ranked 7th. That his tally of 3 sacks last season represented a career high for Luketa speaks to a lack of pass rush upside. However, he is an edge who could eat up snaps on base downs and allow Yetur Gross-Matos and Sam Okwuegbunam to kick inside more often. San Francisco would still benefit from finding a potential long-term starter at defensive end across from Nick Bosa, but the 49ers also need reliable depth. Still only 26, Luketa is a player who can provide that and would likely come at a very affordable cost. The 49ers signing a player the Cardinals elected not to tender as a restricted free agent might not sound very appealing, but it could be an astute move. OT Jedrick Wills having once again dealt with an injury apocalypse coming off a Super Bowl loss, the 49ers have strong reason to be very reluctant to sign players with checkered histories in terms of staying on the field. Wills' injury history is very checkered. He has played a full regular season just once in his career, and last year featured in only 5 games as he was benched for DeJuan Jones. His 2023 campaign was ended by a torn MCL that cost him the final 9 games. But Wills does have first-round pedigree, previous history of excelling at the highest level with an all-rookie season under his belt in 2020, and experience of playing both right and left tackle in his career. Such is the potential emphasis on the defensive line that the 49ers might not be able to add potential difference makers on the offensive side of the trenches in this year's draft. For a team whose right tackle is an average starter at best and is in need of a long-term successor to Trent Williams on the left side, a bet on a 25-year-old reclamation project would be a smart one to take. RBJ Dobbins, do the 49ers still have Christian McCaffrey? Yes. Did they trade up for a running back last year in Isaac Guerendo? Yes. Do they already have 4 backs on the roster? Yes. Are they likely to select a back from this year's loaded draft class? Yes. Is any of that a reason to believe Kyle Shanahan won't sign another free agent back he likes? Absolutely not. Dobbins enjoyed his best season since his rookie campaign of 2020 last year, going for 1,058 yards from scrimmage and 9 touchdowns for the Los Angeles Chargers. An MCL sprain ended Dobbins' 2024 season early, a continuation of a theme in a career defined by injury struggles. Yet his durability issues will likely keep the cost of signing Dobbins low, and there was plenty in Dobbins' performances last season to suggest he would thrive in the 49er offense. Per Sumer Sports, Dobbins' explosive run rate of 12. 3 ranked 6th among running backs with at least 100 rushes. A deeper dive into the numbers reveals a back well suited for a ground attack still built on a foundation of zone runs. Indeed, Dobbins ranked 5th in expected points added per rush among backs with at least 50 attempts on zone runs. His explosive play rate of 13. 8 on such runs ranked 2nd. Dobbins was not as efficient on gap scheme runs, but he thrived on duo runs, which the 49ers called sparingly but executed effectively in 2024. Jordan Mason led the NFL Maneathers' 20 duo rushes with an explosive play rate of 21. 7 on such rushes. Mason was also first in yards per carry 7, 48 and EPA per rush 0. 4 with Dobbins 7th 5, 18 and 8th 0, 15 in those categories. While Dobbins would be a downgrade from the 49ers' former second string, back in that regard, he would be a significant upgrade in terms of pass protection. Among the 35 running backs with at least 50 pass block snaps last year, Dobbins ranked 3rd in PFF pass block grade. Mason only played 24 pass block snaps across the entirety of the year. Signing Dobbins wouldn't preclude the 49ers from adding another back in the draft or stop them from keeping at least one of Taylor or Abanikanda on the practice squad. What it would do is give the 49ers a productive backup who is reliable in pass protection, providing them with a player they can trust to take some of the load off Christian McCaffrey. Dobbins is a free agent who brings obvious inherent risk, but at the likely opportunity cost, it could be one worth taking. And now, Niners fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Niners. I'll be back any moment with more Niners news.